How to become the most likable version of yourself as a sixth sensory by raising your vibration. Hi, my name is Leah Chantel. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm talking about how we can fill our fuel tanks as sixth sensories so that we become the most likable versions of ourselves. Have you ever walked into a room feeling tired and people didn't want to talk to you? It was almost like they could feel that you were bringing your exhaustion into the room and they tried to stay away from you. Or have you ever shown up to a job interview and you were so nervous about getting the job that even though you had researched and worked really hard at that job interview, you still failed because you just weren't really comfortable in connecting with the other person in the interview? I know I've done some of these mistakes. Even starting my business, some of my videos, I've done on a shoestring and worked really hard to get them out. Later to realize upon further reflection that I could have done better. I could have made them more high vibrational. I could have made them more positive. And so we can be really hard on ourselves as sixth sensories and judge ourselves when we feel we're coming up short. And that's when it's really, really important for us to be extremely kind to ourselves and do things for ourselves that help us elevate our vibration. And so what things should we do to elevate our vibration? Well, a lot of things we can do to elevate our vibration. And please don't think of this as unimportant compared to your other priorities in your life. For example, if you're posting videos on a regular basis, don't neglect your self-care in order to post a video. I've made this mistake. And then I felt burned out and I felt like I wanted to quit YouTube, to be honest. But it had nothing to do with YouTube itself or my followers. I really love connecting with them. The problem was me because I wasn't really feeding my spirit and looking after myself. So please know that this is important and it can add up cumulatively and cause you to lose your motivation as a guide or as a coach if you don't take good care of yourself. Even if you don't have a business practice, the way you show up in the world affects your relationships and how you perform in your jobs. And so it's very important to keep your vibration very high. And so the first tip for raising your vibration, I would argue, is to spend time in nature or in quiet spaces. If nature is not available to you because you live in a very busy city or it's extremely cold or the weather for whatever reason permits you to stay inside, then what you need to do is find quiet spaces in your life where you can just think or meditate. That could be in a yoga studio, that could be in a library, that could even be in an abandoned mall that you just walk around. Wherever that quiet space is, you need to carve out quiet time for yourself because that allows you to connect with your intuition and with your spirit. And if you're feeling very stressed out and you don't know what to do with one of your relationships in your life or with one of the situations that you're facing in your life, going to a quiet space and just reflecting and taking that time in the quiet space will help you connect with yourself and know what the right next step is for you. Nobody can really tell you what the right next step absolutely is for anybody at any point in their lives, but you can get your own guidance and know what it is for you. And so connecting in a quiet space is going to help you do that. If you have a regular meditation practice, that's even better. If you carve out quiet time for yourself to sit on your mat 5 or 10 minutes a day, that's amazing. If you don't do that, even taking a bit of quiet time by going out for a walk can do a lot for you in terms of your self-reflection and your ability to recharge. And so whatever way you meditate, some people believe that there's a right way or a wrong way or a better way. I'll leave that up to you. If there's a specific way you like to meditate that you prefer and you believe works for you, then go ahead and do that. But I wouldn't prescribe one official way to meditate. Some people prefer listening to a visualization, which is a little bit different from very traditional meditation, which is silent. But whatever way you go about it, do what feeds your spirit and do what makes you feel fulfilled at the end of that quiet time. My next step for enhancing your fulfillment and really revitalizing your vibration as an intuitive is that you need to be around other people who are going to uplift you. If you're around people who are negative Nellies and they're bringing you down, or they pay a lot of attention to the news and they're constantly arguing about it, that's not going to be good for your spirit as an intuitive. In fact, I would stay away from politics. I find whenever I get into a political conversation, and I do have political opinions, it just goes around in circles because I can't really do that much to change the government other than vote. Yes, I believe in voting, and that's a good thing to be informed for those reasons. But beyond that, there's not really much we can do to shape politics, except maybe write to your local politicians. But other than that, there's only so much you can do. And thinking about it and ruminating about it really just depletes your energy and makes you feel sad about life. The one thing I always say a lot of countries who are democratic have in common is everybody is unhappy with their government. And then the communist countries are just too scared to complain about their government. So my advice is to just avoid it as a topic of conversation. Avoid the news and don't get drained when these topics come up. It's not worth it. And in the same vein, number 3, don't get into toxic relationships or spend time with people who have negative habits or who bring up negative topics of conversation other than politics. Because again, that's one of the biggest time wasters that's going to drain your energy and not contribute to your life or to your vibration in a really happy and healthy way. Instead, who you may want to hang out with if you don't have a lot of positive people in your life could be some positive animals, and that'll be number 3. If you don't have a lot of positive people in your life, go hang out with the animals or with maybe somebody's children. If you're an uncle or an aunt and you're lucky enough to have a niece or a nephew you can spend time with, go spend time with them and watch them play, because you'll learn so much from children and animals who play, and you'll understand how to enjoy life when you see a cat stretched out in the sun and just enjoying the rays, or you see a dog playfully chasing after a frisbee, or you see the child climbing the climbers and trying to get to the top. Whatever it is, these are different ways that you feel joy in life. And when you're around these positive influences in your life, of course, if you have positive adults, that's amazing. But if you don't really have a lot of positive adults in your life, children and animals can be a really great source of inspiration and can really raise your vibration as an intuitive. My next tip to raise your vibration is to make sure you're getting enough sleep. If you're staying up watching TV or surfing on your phone or doing whatever you're doing that's cutting back your sleep, you need to get sleep back on your priority table as quickly as possible and make sure you're tucking yourself into bed and getting a solid amount of sleep that you need, whatever that amount of time is that you need. Sleep, and make sure it's good quality sleep. And then wake up at a consistent time every single day and go to bed at a consistent time every single day. That works for you. That is reasonable for you. And then you will feel more empowered to take on the world when you have very good rest. My next tip is to take care of your diet and make sure you're getting enough nutritional food into you. That means salads, dark green leaves, that means mushrooms, that means carrots, and other vegetables that have different nutrients in them. Make sure you're getting everything that you need in your diet. And we all need a lot of different vegetables. We all need a lot of water. And these things contribute to our body and keep us healthy over the long term. If you're drinking too much acidic drinks, like too much pop, too much Coke, too much coffee, too much tea, in moderation, if they're not too sugary, these drinks can be okay for your health. But if you have an overabundance of them and not enough water, that's not good for your body. So your body needs lots of water. So it's a good idea to have a source of filtered water in your home if you don't already have that. They're pretty inexpensive to buy a very basic one. And make sure you're sipping water on a regular basis in order to feed your body and keep you in a high vibrational state as a sensitive intuitive. And protein, of course, protein of your choice that works well for you in your body and your belief system, whether that is plant protein or animal protein. My next advice to raise your vibration as an intuitive is to spend time engaged in study and learning. And that means traditional study, but it could also mean non-traditional means of study. Maybe you study YouTube gurus and videos on topics that teach you about something that you don't know about life. I learned a lot about relationships from YouTube and places that really books and other people in my life couldn't teach me. And so you really want to learn a lot from every single source that you can, whether it's free and it's online or if it's at a university and you're studying a more traditional subject. All of these ways of studying and learning about the world are valuable. And so you want to engage all of it. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube, follow good people on TikTok even. You know, when you follow the right people on your social media feeds. This is a big tip. Clean up your social media feeds so you have inspirational people who are teaching you something, feeding you information on a regular basis, and make sure it's all positive and uplifting. And if you do that, then your social media feeds are going to feed you and feed your learning rather than take away your attention into negative stories, negative videos, or anything that's distracting for you. So I hope you enjoyed my tips today on how to raise your vibration, and I'll see you next time.